This video is mainly in response to the people who think that they're absolutely cooked and can no longer be able to get a decent amount of rerolls in Anime Vanguards since the latest changes with how challenges work. Today I'm here to tell you that that is further from the truth, and you can actually still get a crazy amount of rerolls here in Anime Vanguards even after the challenge nerf, and you will be surprised by this. By the way guys, I know that you guys want the rerolls. Well, we are going to be doing a premium battle pass giveaway at 52k subs, and all you need to do in order to be part of it is to click that like and subscribe button and join our Discord in the pinned down below. Bro is afraid to lose his content creator role. That's why he's defending the developers. He doesn't want to lose his content creator role. He's a coward, a sellout. Okay, first, I want to address the elephant in the room. The only reason I made my previous video is not, to defend the developers. I know that this is annoying to a lot of players, but I have been playing this game for longer than a lot of people, and I've seen how bad it was in Update 1. I've seen how bad it was prior to the changes they've made to the free-to-play player community, right? Back then, the max amount of rerolls you could get per week was like 10 or 20, okay? Think of that. The max amount of rerolls you could get back then was 10 or 20. And it has been made significantly more free-to-play friendly now. And I know that it's not as good as you want it to be. It's not ALS level where you could get 1,000 rerolls per day of macroing. That's because Anime Vanguards is not that type of game, and I truly believe that the reason they changed challenges is because they just wanted to balance out the amount of rerolls they're giving, okay? And if you don't like that change, it's understandable, but you also have to understand that at the end of the day, they're just trying to do what's best for the game. But here, I'm gonna be talking about how much rerolls can you still get per week in Anime Vanguards after the challenge nerf. How much is it? Is it 10 rerolls per week now? Is it that bad? Is it 50 rerolls per week? Is it that bad? Well, the number is still extremely high, and it's actually still in the hundreds per week. So let's get started with challenges, okay? The one that everybody has been crying on about. And I'm gonna be telling you right now the basics. There is 3 days of 2 times challenge rewards, 4 days of no 2 times challenge rewards, which means for the 3 days the challenge rewards is active, you are going to be getting more rerolls. You're going to be getting more rerolls from challenges. So the math is very simple. You can actually right now do only 16 challenges. Okay, this is subject to change still, but right now as it currently stands, you can only do 16 challenges per 24 hours. Okay, 16 challenges. Don't ask me how I came up with that number, but it's 16 challenges right now per day right here. So you can only get 16 rerolls from the half-hour challenges per day if you don't have the 2 times challenge rewards on. So you can get 32 per day if the 2 times challenge reward is on. So since there's 3 days of 2 times challenge reward and 4 days of no 2 times challenge rewards, you can get roughly around 160 rerolls from the half-hour challenge if you max it out per day. And if you want to do the math, it's very simple. Okay, I'll give you my calculator right here. So that you guys can actually get what I'm trying to say. So you could get 16 per day without 2 times challenge rewards. Without 2 times challenge rewards, that's 4 days, so 16 times 4. And for 3 days, you'll have 2 times challenge rewards, so you can get 32 rerolls in those 3 days. So 32 times 3, it's 96. So 64 plus 96 is actually going to be 160 rerolls weekly just from the half-hour challenge. This is weekly. This is not even monthly yet. And mind you, this is very realistic. A lot of people can actually do 16 sets of challenges. It's not that hard to do 16 sets of challenges. So this is a very realistic number. Now, if you add daily challenges, that's going to be another 30 rerolls. And how I came up with that number is very simple. You have 3 times 4, right? 3 times 4 is 12. And you have 6 times 3, 18 for the days where their 2 times challenge reward is active. So 3 times 4, 12, plus 18 is 30 rerolls. So that's how much you could get daily in the daily challenges, weekly, sorry. So you could get 30 rerolls weekly from the daily challenges. So if you add the weekly challenge reward right there, because there is a weekly challenge, that's 20, you could approximately get around 160 plus 30 plus 20 in challenges alone. So that's around 210 rerolls just from challenges alone. 210 rerolls. So it's definitely still not as bad. And by the way, Back then, you could get so much more. Yes, it is true that you could get so much more back then. I think you could get 482 rerolls per week back then before the nerf. But again, 480 rerolls was only possible back then if you would macro it. 210 rerolls is the realistic amount of rerolls you could get if you weren't a macro player. So realistically, this is possible. You could realistically get 210 rerolls weekly just from challenges, which is very nice, right? Now, this is not even where it truly ends. You could also add bounties to the equation, which will give you another 70 reroll. And how that works is bounties will give you 10 per day, then multiply that by 7 because that's the amount of days there are in a week. So that's going to be 70 rerolls. And then you can also have boss events, which resets every week, which will get you roughly around 40 rerolls just from this alone. Just from this shop right here alone. Then you also have infinite quests, which will give you roughly around 21 if you finish all of them daily. Now, if you add all of that, it should be around 341 rerolls, okay? So how it works is 160 from half-hour challenges, 30 from daily challenges, 20 from weekly rerolls, and then from bounties, there is 70 rerolls from bounties. And then after bounties, you have boss events, which will give you 40. Right? Boss events, which will give you 40, and then infinite quest, which will give you around 21 per week if you do it daily. So here's the number put in the calculator, add that up, and it's still 341 rerolls you could get weekly. Back then, the max you could get was around 600. Yes, I know 600 is a lot less or a lot more than 341. But again, back then, the only way you could even max out 300 or the only way you could max out the challenges back then was if you were macroing it, right? And if you are macroing challenges, you won't have enough time to do the bounties and boss events. 680 rerolls back then wasn't even possible, right? It wasn't even realistically possible. So 341 rerolls is the realistic amount a real player can actually make, right? So it definitely still is good. And this is without doing tournaments. And if you were to add tournaments to this, you are actually going to get so much more. Because I believe tournaments reset every... I think every week is when it resets. And it's gonna give you around 35 rerolls if you get to the top 1. If you get to top 2 or 5, that's 220. If you get top 6 to 16, that's still another 10 rerolls. It's actually pretty good, and this is not including that, right? So 341 rerolls is still a lot of rerolls you can get per week in challenges. No, sorry, from every source of rerolls there are in the game. And not to mention, you also have a lot of shops. Now, the shops don't really restock, I know. But they update roughly around 3 to 4 weeks or 2 to 3 weeks at a time. So every update that they have, there's a new shop that restocks, or a new shop that not restocks but comes in. And it gives like 50 rerolls at a time, maybe 100. And that gives you a lot of free rerolls as well, right? And it's actually not that hard to get to the Monarch pity either, because if you remember the calculation, we have 341 per week. It's only going to take you roughly around 7 weeks to get or 7 to 8 weeks to get to the Monarch pity. I know a lot of people want to consider the Monarch pity, but chances are you're probably going to get a Monarch before you even get to this number right here. If you do get to this number right here, right, as a free-to-play player, you could realistically farm it in 8 weeks. 8 weeks of daily grinding. Now, back then, you could grind it in much less, but it was something that you had to macro. So I think it's still pretty good in my opinion. I don't know what you guys think. Comment down below what you think about challenges, if it's bad or if it's good. And that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.